Let's critically examine the legacy of Mughal Emperor Akbar and question the traditional narrative of his greatness. Akbar ruled the Mughal Empire from 1556 to 1605 and is often called Akbar the Great, but this title deserves closer examination. Akbar's military campaigns involved significant violence and destruction that is often overlooked. The siege of Chittor in 1568 resulted in the massacre of thousands of civilians after the fortress fell. Historical records suggest that approximately 30,000 civilians were killed at Chittor even after the fortress had surrendered. The conquest of Gujarat in 1573 involved widespread destruction of temples and displacement of populations. His military expansion was built on violence and forced submission rather than peaceful integration. While Akbar is praised for religious tolerance, this policy was selective and politically motivated. Akbar's tolerance extended mainly to groups that were politically useful to him, while he suppressed those who opposed his rule. While he abolished the jizya tax on non-Muslims, he implemented other policies that maintained social hierarchies. His creation of Din-e-Ilahi was less about tolerance and more about centralizing religious authority under hymns. Akbar's administration heavily taxed peasants, leading to widespread poverty. Agricultural taxes under Akbar's revenue system extracted significant wealth from peasant farmers who received little in return. Tax rates ranged from 1/3 to 1/2 of agricultural produce, leaving peasants with barely enough to survive. The Zabti system of tax collection was rigid and did not account for crop failures or natural disasters. Despite opportunities for reform, Akbar maintained most social inequalities of his time. The rigid social hierarchy remained largely unchanged under Akbar's rule, with peasants at the bottom. He failed to effectively abolish slavery or the practice of sati, despite having the power to do so. The caste system remained deeply entrenched, with no meaningful efforts at social equality. Much of what we know about Akbar comes from court historians who had incentive to glorify him. The Akbarnama and other court chronicles were written by paid historians like Abul Fazl, who depended on royal patronage. These historians had strong incentive to exaggerate Akbar's achievements and downplay his failures. Alternative perspectives and critical accounts were often suppressed or lost to history. Official history does not equal complete truth, especially when written by those dependent on the ruler. When compared with other contemporary rulers, Akbar's achievements seem less exceptional. Compared to contemporaries like Elizabeth I of England or Suleiman the Magnificent, Akbar's achievements were not uniquely great. Many rulers of his era implemented similar administrative and military policies with comparable success. A more balanced view of Akbar reveals a complex ruler with both achievements and significant flaws. The title of great should be questioned when we balance his achievements against his failures and the suffering caused by his rule. His military campaigns involved significant brutality and civilian massacres. His religious tolerance was limited and primarily served political purposes. His tax system heavily exploited peasants without providing adequate welfare, and the historical narrative was largely shaped by court propaganda rather than objective assessment. True greatness requires critical examination of all aspects of a ruler's legacy, not blind acceptance of traditional narratives.